Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here, and today we're going to talk about Doctor Who, the collection, and we're going to talk about Season 16, the Key to Time season, with the legendary 4th Doctor, my personal favorite. And I'm going to talk about things that I would like on the collection set when we do eventually get it, behind the scenes stuff I want, and kind of how I want the front art for it done as well. Now, first off, we need a making for the Power of Prowl. I believe that is the only story this season that does not have a making of yet. And even though I'm not a big fan of Power of Prowl, I would like a making of one just to get some insight on the making of it. That sounds fascinating to me. I don't know how many people are still around from the making of it, to be honest with you. So it'd be nice to get what information we can while we can. I also want to just, as a completionist, I would want that to have a making of for as many stories as we could possibly get. I would also like a Season 16 overview, kind of an overview talking about the whole Key to Time season, how it came about, how Graham Williams originally pitched it for Season 15, all of that kind of stuff. I tend to love season overviews, so I would love that as well. I would like to get another Tom Talks, which I believe we are getting. They've said before that they've kind of future-proofed the other Tom Baker sets by doing interviews with Tom to where they would have like a Tom Talks for every season. So that's the one thing I know we're getting, and I'm excited about that. I love the fact they thought ahead to do that. Tom is 90 years old. Behind the sofa, of course, I really want John Leeson on it. There's just not a lot of people they can get from that era. I would probably also wouldn't mind Philip Hinchcliffe on it, even though it's not his era. I would like to have him there maybe. But John Leeson, I would love to get on Behind the Sofa if they can get him. That would be nice. I tend to love Behind the Sofa. Next is updated effects for either Pirate Planet or Armageddon Factor. I would prefer Pirate Planet because I really think updated effects is all it needs to really make it a 10 out of 10 for me. I love Pirate Planet. I do think the recent novelization of the Pirate Planet's a little better than the actual episode. The more recent novelization that kind of goes off of Douglas's one of his earlier drafts of the script, and it really adds a lot to it really adds a lot to the story. But even the episodes, I love. The TV episodes are fantastic. I love the over-the-top performances sometimes. It really just needs some updated effects to make it pop. Again, we all know how much Prowley likes his updated laser effects, and it definitely needs some updated laser effects. But I would be happy if Armageddon Factor got it as well. Again, I like Armageddon Factor. I don't think it's a 10 out of 10 or anything, but I do think it's an underrated story, and I do think there's plenty of opportunities in it for some updated effects. So either of those, I will be happy. If they give it to Power of Prowl, I will be furious. Absolutely furious. Power of Prowl, just while being a decently written story, not Bob Holmes' best, but the story's fine. The execution of it does let it down, but I feel like you would need an Avengers Endgame budget to make that look good. I just feel like they'd be wasting their time. I would watch it, of course, just to do a review of it because I'd be curious to see it. But I would be very, very, very unhappy if they wasted updated effects on Power of Prowl instead of giving it to Pirate Planet or Armageddon Factor, which I feel like benefit from it more. I would also love a Mary Tam tribute, a video about Mary Tam talking about her life and her career like we got with Elizabeth Sladen on the Season 14 set. I tend to love Mary Tam's Romana. She's my favorite Romana. And just Mary Tam in general strikes me as a fascinating person, what I've read about her. So I would absolutely love a video tribute to her. I would also like an Anthony Reed tribute, just to learn more about Anthony Reed and his time on the show, because he did about half of Season 15, he did most of Season 16. I would enjoy watching a tribute to it. It wouldn't have to be an overly long one, but some kind of tribute to him would be nice. And then a locations filming thing. I tend to like the location filmings when they talk about the different locations, so I would enjoy something about that as well. Moving on to the front art, because I don't think Season 16, with so many people who worked on it gone now, or, like in Tom's case, maybe not as willing to get out and do filming at 90 years old, I would absolutely think this only needs to be like 7 discs. I think it'll be kind of like Season 15, where it's a little bare on the extras. I think like Season 15, you only need 7 discs for it. Season 13 needs to be 8 discs, but we'll talk about that when we get to that video. But I think 7 discs will be fine for Season 16. The front cover, I think immediately it needs to be in that kind of magenta lilac color that we think of with the Key to Time season, like the DVD box set is. Basically the color that the Key to Time itself is, that kind of purplish lilac magenta color. That needs to be the predominant color on the Season 16 box set. I think on the cover you either have Tom holding a segment of the Key to Time or you have him holding the tracker to locate them. Either of those is fine. The background could kind of have that swirly energy like the UK release of the DVD set does. And then you could have the segments of the keys in the background as well. Kind of like the scene at the end when Tom breaks the little tracker and all the key pieces separate and fly out. You could have that and kind of have it looking like the Season 20 set. Oh. Like here where you have the shards, the little time scoop shards in the background. Like here, you could have the Key to Time pieces. Oh, goodness. You could kind of have the Key to Time pieces in the background like that on the cover art. You could either have, again, him holding the tracker and have 6 pieces in the background, or you could have him holding 1 piece with the other 5 pieces in the background like that. I think that would be really cool. I would love that. As for enemies on it, let me get back to my list here. I think you have the Grath Vindicate, because I like the Grath Vindicate. I love the Rebus Operation, I do. You could have the Grath Vindicate on there looking all noble. Then you have the Pirate Captain with the bird. You need the Pirate Captain probably facing this way with the bird on his shoulder. You need both of them right there. You need that. You gotta have Bruce on there. You can have an Ogre and Mrs. Fay on there, Vivian Fay. You could have her for the Stones of Blood, and even one of the Ogre rocks on there as well. You could have her kind of next to the Ogre rock as it's glowing and coming out. Then you could have the main guy who's the villain of the Androids of Tara. I can't remember his name, the Groff or whatever he's called. I forget what he's called, but the one that's trying to kill the king. You could have him on there. The same guy who played the pilot in the Macroterra, actually. You could have him on there as well with a sword, or you could just have one of the enemy soldiers with the helmets on holding a sword out. That would work. Of course, for Power of Prowl, you need Kroll. He kind of needs to be the one that's in the middle, close to the Doctor, kind of where Kronos is on the Season 9 set, the one that's like right here in the middle. You need Kroll being kind of leaning over all tentacles right there. That would work perfect. And then for the Armageddon Factory, you could have the Shadow. I mean, you could also have the Black Guardian on there, but I feel like that would be spoilery. I think you just have the Shadow on there with his... He's a little hammy, but you could easily have him as well. I think that's a pretty good little group there. I mean, there's a lot of human people on the cover, but there's a lot of human villains this season. I think that would actually work really, really, really well. Although you could also put the Queen in there when she's disguised as the nurse. That little shot of her holding the gun before she gets disintegrated or whatever would actually be a great shot with her just kind of in that pose. That'd be actually a really good shot to have on there. I like that idea now that I think about it. And that's kind of what I would do for Season 16 for the front art and behind-the-scenes stuff, VAM material I would like to have on there. I want to know, what do you think of this and how you would like to have the Season 16 art look, and what all behind-the-scenes stuff you would like on there. So comment down below and let's talk about it. Don't forget to click the like button and the subscribe button as well. I also have a Patreon if you would like to support me on that. There's a link to that down in the description. I want to give a shout out to a couple of my top tier patrons, Colin Coney, Stephen Crane, and Finn Perkins. I appreciate their support, as I do the support of all of my patrons. I have a P.O. box down there as well if there's anything you'd like to send me to look at and review. I have a link to my Amazon wish list down there, as well as a link to my Amazon UK wish list as well. Most importantly, thank you for watching. Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here. Today we're going to cough a lot.